Okay, so we've got Sumac, Zaha, Pedro, Maddison, or David Silva. For me, if Pedro stops being a rotation issue, then Pedro, because in the small amount of time he played in Game Week 4, he's still got returns. Willian didn't. So for me, Pedro is, if he plays, a good option. Whereas for me, Maddison, I still need to see more from. David Silva, while he's played most recently in the side, I still worry because Pep said he'd play less of a part this season. Now, it'd be interesting to see who the Premier League midfielders are and who the Champions League midfielders are. And of course, then it does vary on the difficulty of the Champions League game and the difficulty of the Premier League game. So I'm interested to see how that works. For me right now, Pedro probably is the one I favour the most. Then Silva, then Maddison. Quinton Jansen, to be honest, I don't get asked that often. Do you consider form over fixtures? I consider both. Like, at the end of the day, the way I usually look at it, and I'll tell you how I usually go about transferring players, as I should change back to my face. Now, I will go to the fixtures and go, okay, look, Arsenal have good fixtures. Palace have good fixtures. Bournemouth have good fixtures. Man City have good fixtures. Burnley have a next good 4. Man United have a good 4 next fixtures. Leicester have a good 4 next fixtures. So, out of those sides, who do I feel like are going to win their games? And who do I feel like are going to score goals? And who do I feel like have the fixtures, but they don't have anyone that's good enough right now for me to be sure about bringing in? So, for instance, if I look at Arsenal, Newcastle, Everton, Watford, Fulham, Leicester. Am I confident in the Arsenal side? Defensively, definitely not. Attacking-wise, they've definitely got the potential for goals, but Aubameyang seems off form. Özil doesn't seem to suit the system. Mkhitaryan played one game and didn't get assists after doing very well in another, and then was dropped. Lacazette looks good, but it's his first start. So I'm struggling to see an Arsenal player that I want to bring into my side. Palace, they don't look good without Zaha. Zaha's injured, so I'm probably not going to bring in a Palace player. Bournemouth have looked decent, apart from a game against big opponent, Chelsea, but they've looked decent. Wilson looks in form. King does not look as in form as Wilson at all. Fraser looks like an option. Brooks looks like an option. Defensively, they don't look like they're going to keep loads of clean sheets, but Ake seems to be popping up in all the right places to score goals, so Ake is an option. Defensively, a lot of their defenders regularly get attacking returns. It's kind of probably the way they play as well. So if I really needed a budget option, Bournemouth defender might be one to look at, but Wilson probably the main man there. Man City, decent games. If the defence isn't sorted for their opponents, they're going to score a lot of goals. They can also score a lot of goals against the big opponents anyway. So Aguero so far has played most games, looks dangerous, looks a threat. Midfield wise, if De Bruyne was there, playing the way we know De Bruyne can, you'd consider him. Other midfielders, it's a bit of a risk. Rotation, the position they play in, all that kind of stuff. Defensively, Mendy looks fantastic. Walker's also now come in with some points, and Edison looks like he can get clean sheets. So those are the players I'd look for there. Then Man United, until last game week, didn't like the look of them. Lukaku has done well for himself. I've not seen the game, not watched Match of the Day yet, but Lukaku looked good from, at least from points return. So maybe consider Lukaku. Probably very nailed on as a striker there. But otherwise, Shaw, again, apparently he looked very good. And he has got attacking returns and some clean sheets. So I'd consider those two. Then you've got Burnley. Not touching Burnley right now. Not in the form for me to bring in any of their players. Tarkowski has scored 2 goals though, but just not liking the look of them. Leicester, still unsure about Leicester, so I'm not going to bring in. So that's kind of the way I look about transfers. I go for the fixtures and then think about, are there form players there? And the idea is, if there isn't a form player worth bringing in, and there isn't a position I want to change, I won't take a player out just because they've got some tough fixtures. There are players that can score in big games, and sometimes big team against big team can be just as open, if not more open, which allows for more goals than a big team against a small team. Newcastle are going to try and shut up shop. against the Man City. Liverpool aren't going to try and shut up shop against Man City because they want to win.